I was 2,000 miles away on a rig in the Gulf of Mexico when I decided to FaceTime my wife to say goodnight. It was 11:47 p.m. She'd texted earlier, saying she was exhausted from her nursing conference in Denver, heading to bed early. The call connected. Her face filled the screen, hair down, hotel robe, soft lighting. "Hey, baby," she said, smiling that smile I'd fallen in love with 12 years ago. "Hey, just wanted to hear your voice before I crashed." We talked for maybe 3 minutes, normal stuff, how her day went, how the rig was, when I'd be home. Then she shifted on the bed and the camera angle changed. Behind her, in the window reflection, I saw it. A man's silhouette, standing in the corner of her hotel room, watching. My blood went cold. "Babe, you okay?" she asked. "You look pale." I forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired. Love you. Get some rest." "Love you too." The call ended. I sat there on my bunk, 200 feet above the ocean, staring at my phone. Then I did something I'd never done in 12 years of marriage. I opened the Find My iPhone app. Her location loaded. She wasn't in Denver. She was in Houston, at an address I didn't recognize. But I knew someone who would. If you want to know what I did next and why that man's reflection was the best thing that ever happened to me, hit subscribe, because what I found at that address changed everything. My name is Marcus Webb. I'm 38 years old and I work as a drilling supervisor on offshore oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. That's the rhythm. 2 weeks of 12-hour shifts, sleeping in a narrow bunk, eating in a mess hall with 40 other guys who smell like diesel and sweat. Then 2 weeks at home in Katy, Texas, with my wife Claire and our daughter Emma. It's not an easy life, but it's a good one. The pay is solid, 6 figures if you count the overtime. The work is honest, and the time at home feels earned. I met Claire 13 years ago at a hospital in Houston. I'd crushed 3 fingers in a rig accident, and she was the ER nurse who stitched me up. "You're lucky you didn't lose them," she said, wrapping my hand with steady, careful fingers. "I'm lucky you're the one fixing me," I said, high on painkillers and honesty. She smiled. "Does that line work on most girls?" "I don't know. Does it work on you?" It did. We got married a year later, had Emma 2 years after that. For 12 years, we made it work. The distance, the schedule, the sacrifice. I trusted her completely. Until that FaceTime call. Let me set the scene.
It was October 14th. I was on day 9 of my rotation, working a rig called Deepwater Titan, about 120 miles southeast of New Orleans. Claire had left 3 days earlier for what she called a nursing conference in Denver. 3 days of continuing education credits, networking, the usual. She'd been talking about it for weeks, showed me the registration confirmation, even complained about the hotel being overpriced. "It's $240 a night for a room the size of a closet," she'd said. "But it's right next to the convention center, so I guess it's worth it." I'd kissed her goodbye at the door, hugged Emma, and driven to the heliport. "Be safe," Claire had said. "Text me when you land." "Always do." That was the last time I'd seen her in person. The first 2 days, everything seemed normal. She texted me updates, photos of her name badge, the conference hall, a plate of overpriced hotel food. "Miss you already," she wrote. "Emma says hi." "Miss you too," I replied. "Tell Em I'll bring her a souvenir." Day 3, the texts got shorter. "Long day, exhausted, going to bed early. Sleep well, love you. Love you too." I didn't think anything of it. Conferences are draining. She was probably just tired. But something in my gut felt off. Not loud, just a quiet hum, like a machine running 1 RPM too fast. I ignored it. That night,
October 14th, 11:47 p.m. I was lying in my bunk scrolling through my phone when I decided to FaceTime her, just to hear her voice, see her face. The call rang twice. Then she answered. "Hey, baby," she said, smiling. She was in a hotel robe, hair down, soft lighting behind her. The room looked generic, beige walls, white bedding, the kind of place that could be anywhere. "Hey," I said, "just wanted to say goodnight." "That's sweet." She adjusted the phone, propping it against something. "How's the rig?" "Same as always, loud, greasy, smells like a mechanic's armpit." "Loungy," she laughed. "How's the conference?" "Good. Boring, but good. Lots of PowerPoints about patient care protocols." "Sounds thrilling." "It's not," she yawned. "I'm wiped. Probably going to crash soon." We talked for another minute or two. Nothing deep, just the small, comfortable talk of two people who've been married long enough to not need big words. Then she shifted on the bed. The camera angle changed, and in the window behind her, the one reflecting the room, I saw it. A man's silhouette, standing in the corner, not moving, just there. My heart stopped. I couldn't say anything. My brain was trying to process what I was seeing while my mouth kept saying normal things. "You okay?" Claire asked. "You look weird." "Yeah," I forced out. "Just tired." "You should get some sleep." "Yeah, you too." "Love you," she said. "Love you too." The call ended. I sat there, staring at the black screen, my pulse hammering in my ears. Maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe it was a shadow, a coat rack, a lamp. But I knew what I'd seen. A man in her hotel room at midnight. I opened the Find My iPhone app. My hands were shaking. The app loaded. Her location pin dropped. Not Denver, Houston. I zoomed in. An address in Montrose, a neighborhood I knew. Not a hotel, a house. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I opened my contacts and called the one person I knew could help. His name was Darius. We'd worked rigs together for 6 years before he moved on shore to run logistics for the company. He lived in Houston, Montrose, actually. The call rang 3 times. "Marcus?" His voice was groggy. "It's midnight, man. You good?" "I need a favor." "What kind of favor?" I gave him the address. "Can you drive by there? Tell me what you see?" "Right now?" "Right now." Silence. "Marcus, what's going on?" "I'll explain later. Please, just drive by. Tell me what's there." He sighed. "Give me 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes felt like 20 hours. I paced my bunk, sat down, stood up, checked my phone, opened the Find My app again. Her pin was still there, still at that address. At 12:14 a.m., Darius called back. "Okay, I'm here. What do you see?" "It's a house, 2-story, brick, nice neighborhood. There's a black Audi in the driveway." My stomach dropped. Claire drove a white Honda CR-V. "Whose house is it?" I asked. "I don't know, man. You want me to knock?" "No, just, is there a light on?" "Yeah, upstairs. Bedroom, maybe?" I closed my eyes. "Marcus, what the hell is going on?" "I think my wife is cheating on me." The line went quiet. "You sure?" "No, but I'm about to be." I didn't sleep that night. I lay in my bunk, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rig groan and hum around me. At 6 a.m., I got up, showered, and went to find my supervisor. "I need to go home," I said. He looked up from his clipboard. "What?" "Family emergency. I need to get on the next chopper." "Marcus, we're in the middle of—" "I don't care. I need to go. Now." He saw something in my face that made him stop arguing. "Okay, I'll radio the mainland. Chopper leaves at 0900. "Thank you." I went back to my bunk, packed my bag, and texted Claire. "Coming home early. Be there tonight." She replied 10 minutes later. "What? Why? Is everything okay?" "Yeah, just miss you. See you soon." "Okay, love you." I didn't reply. The helicopter ride back to the mainland was the longest 90 minutes of my life. I kept replaying that FaceTime call in my head. The man's reflection, the way she'd smiled, the way she'd said love you like nothing was wrong. When we landed, I didn't go home. I drove straight to that address in Montrose. It was 4:37 p.m. when I pulled up. The house looked exactly like Darius described. 2-story, brick, nice lawn. The black Audi was still in the driveway, and parked behind it was Claire's white CRV. I sat in my truck across the street, engine off, hands gripping the wheel. Part of me wanted to storm in, kick down the door, confront them. But another part, the part that had spent 12 years building a life with this woman, wanted to be wrong, wanted there to be an explanation. So I waited. At 5:59 p.m., the front door opened. Claire stepped out. She was laughing, hair perfect, dressed in jeans and a blouse I'd never seen. Behind her was a man, tall, fit, salt and pepper hair, expensive watch. He said something I couldn't hear. She laughed again. Then he pulled her close and kissed her. Not a peck, a kiss. The kind that says, "This isn't the first time." My vision tunneled. I watched them say goodbye, watched her get in her car, watched him wave as she backed out of the driveway. Then I did something I didn't plan. I got out of my truck and I walked up to his front door. I knocked. 3 solid knocks that echoed in the quiet street. The door opened. The man stood there, still smiling, probably expecting someone else. His smile died when he saw me. "Can I help you?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, voice calm. "You can tell me who the hell you are and why my wife was just in your house." His face went pale. I don't know what you're talking about." "Her name is Claire Webb. She just left here. I watched her kiss you." He opened his mouth, closed it. "Look, man, How long?" I interrupted. "What?" "How long have you been sleeping with my wife?" He looked like he wanted to run, but I was blocking the door. 6 months, he finally said, voice barely a whisper. 6 months. Half a year. While I was on a rig, working 12-hour shifts, sending money home, FaceTiming my daughter before bed. "What's your name?" I asked. "Derek. Derek Paulson." "Well, Derek," I said, stepping closer, "you just made the biggest mistake of your life." I didn't hit him. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But I didn't. Instead, I pulled out my phone and took a picture of him standing in his doorway. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Evidence," I said. Then I walked back to my truck and drove home. Claire's car was in the driveway when I pulled up. I sat there for a minute, staring at the house I'd bought, the lawn I'd mowed, the life I'd built. Then I got out and walked inside. She was in the kitchen, making dinner. Emma was at the table, coloring. "Daddy!" Emma jumped up and ran to me. I scooped her up, held her tight, and felt my chest crack open. "Hey, baby girl." "You're home early." "I am." Claire turned from the stove, smiling. "Hey, I didn't expect you until tomorrow." "Surprise," I said flatly. Her smile faltered. "You okay?" "Yeah, just tired." "Well, dinner's almost ready. Why don't you go shower? You smell like the rig." I set Emma down. "Actually, I need to talk to you first." "Okay." "Upstairs, alone." Her face changed, just a flicker, but I saw it. "Emma, sweetie," she said, voice tight, "keep coloring. We'll be right back." We went upstairs to our bedroom. I closed the door. She crossed her arms. What's going on? I pulled out my phone and opened the photo. Derek Paulson standing in his doorway. I held it up. Who is this? Her face went white. I don't lie to me, Claire. Her mouth opened, closed. How did you... I FaceTimed you last night, saw a man in your hotel room, except you weren't in a hotel, were you? Tears started, right on cue. Marcus, How long? It's not what you think. How long? My voice cracked. I hadn't meant to yell. Downstairs, Emma went quiet. Claire's face crumbled. 6 months.
And there it was, the truth, spoken out loud in the room where we'd slept beside each other for 12 years. "Why?" I asked, voice breaking. "I don't know. That's not an answer." She wiped her eyes. "You're never here, Marcus. You're always on that rig. I'm alone. Emma's alone. I needed someone." "So you found someone?" "It wasn't supposed to happen. We met at the hospital. He's a surgeon. We started talking. It was just coffee at first. Then, I don't want the details." Silence. "Do you love him?" I asked. She didn't answer. That was answer enough. "I want a divorce," I said. Her head snapped up. "What?" "You heard me." "Marcus, please, we can fix this. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want." "I don't want to fix this. I want out." "But Emma." "Emma deserves parents who don't lie to each other." Tears poured down her face. "Please, don't do this." I looked at the woman I'd loved for 13 years, the woman I'd trusted with everything, and I felt nothing. "Pack a bag," I said. "Stay with your sister. I'll stay here with Emma." "You can't kick me out of my own house." "Actually, I can. This house is in my name, bought with my income. You want to fight me on it? We can let the lawyers sort it out." Her face twisted. "You bastard!" "Yeah, I'm the bastard." She left that night. Emma cried, asked where Mommy was going. "She's going to stay with Aunt Jess for a little while," I said, holding her close. "Why?" "Because Mommy and Daddy need some space." "Are you getting divorced?" Kids are smarter than we give them credit for. "I don't know yet, baby, but no matter what happens, we both love you. That won't change." She buried her face in my chest and sobbed. I held her until she fell asleep. Then I went downstairs, poured a whiskey I didn't drink, and called a lawyer. His name was Richard Moss, divorce attorney, came highly recommended. "Tell me everything," he said. I did. The FaceTime call, the Find My iPhone, the house in Montrose, the 6-month affair. "Do you have proof?" "I do. Photos, timestamps, location data, and a confession." "Good. Texas is a community property state, but adultery can affect alimony and asset division. I don't care about alimony. I just want to protect Emma." "Custody?" "I want primary. Claire can have visitation." "That's reasonable, especially given the circumstances." We talked for another hour. He explained the process, the timeline, what to expect. When we hung up, I felt clear. Not happy, not sad, just clear. The next 2 weeks were hell. Claire tried everything. Apologies, promises, threats. She showed up at the house crying, sent long texts at 2 a.m., called my mother. I didn't engage. I focused on Emma, on work, on putting one foot in front of the other. Then, 3 weeks after I'd confronted her, something strange happened. I got a call from an unknown number. "Mr. Webb?" "Yeah?" "This is Amanda Paulson, Derek's wife." My blood went cold. "I think we need to talk."
We met at a coffee shop in Rice Village. Amanda was mid-30s, blonde, put together in that way that screams, "I have my life figured out." Except she didn't, because her husband had been sleeping with my wife. "I found out 2 days ago," she said, hands wrapped around a coffee she wasn't drinking. "I saw a text on his phone, confronted him, He told me everything. "I'm sorry," I said. "Don't be. I'm not." She looked up at me. "I want to help you." "Help me how?" "Derek's a surgeon, makes $600K a year. We have assets, a lot of them." "Okay. If your wife thinks she's going to ride off into the sunset with him, she's wrong. I'm taking him for everything he's worth." I almost smiled. "Good. But I need your help." "What kind of help?" She slid a folder across the table. "I need you to testify, in my divorce, about the affair." I opened the folder. Inside were text messages, photos, hotel receipts. All of it documented, all of it damning. "If we work together," Amanda said, "we can bury them both." I looked at her, this woman I'd never met, who was sitting across from me because our spouses had blown up both our lives. "I'm in," I said. Over the next month, Amanda and I became unlikely allies. We shared evidence, coordinated legal strategies, supported each other through the worst days. Her lawyer and my lawyer worked together to build airtight cases. And slowly, the picture came into focus. Derek and Claire had been planning to leave us, together. They'd talked about it in texts, made plans, even looked at houses. They thought they were in love. They thought they'd get away with it. They were wrong. The divorce hearings were brutal. Claire's lawyer tried to paint me as an absent husband, a man who chose work over family. My lawyer presented the affair, the lies, the evidence. The judge wasn't impressed with Claire. I got primary custody of Emma. Claire got every other weekend. I kept the house, the cars, my retirement. She got nothing. Well, not nothing. She got Derek. Except by the time our divorce was finalized, Derek's divorce was finalized too, and Amanda had taken him for everything. The house, the cars, half his income for the next 10 years. Derek went from $600K a year to barely scraping by. And Claire? She went from a comfortable life to splitting rent on a one-bedroom apartment with a man who resented her for costing him everything. 6 months after the divorce, I was sitting on my back porch with Emma, watching fireflies. "Daddy?" she asked. "Yeah, baby?" "Are you happy?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. "Yeah," I said. "I am." And I meant it. Because here's the thing about betrayal. It hurts. God, it hurts. But it also clarifies. It shows you who people really are. And it gives you the chance to rebuild your life on truth instead of lies. A year later, I met someone new. Her name was Rachel. She was a teacher, divorced, no kids. We met at a coffee shop, started talking, realized we had a lot in common. She knew about Claire, about the affair, about everything. And she didn't run. "You deserve better," she said. "So do you." We took it slow, no rush, no pressure. Just two people who'd been burned, learning to trust again. Emma liked her. That was the most important thing. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. As for Claire, last I heard, she and Derek broke up. Turns out a relationship built on lies doesn't last when the lies run out. She's working as a nurse again, living alone. I don't wish her ill. I don't wish her well. I just don't think about her. Because my life isn't about her anymore. It's about Emma, about Rachel, about building something real. And that FaceTime call, the one that shattered my world, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because it showed me the truth. And the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a beautiful lie. If you've ever seen something you weren't supposed to see, if you've ever had your gut tell you something was wrong, if you've ever had to choose between comfort and truth, this one's for you. Comment, "I saw the truth," if this story hit home. Hit subscribe for more stories about the moment everything changes. Because sometimes the worst night of your life is the beginning of your best one.